A black man's love transforms a forgotten girl, but her silence sparks outrage. Redemption shines in her tribute, like subscribe, and hit the bell for our latest thrilling stories. She's unadoptable. Marcus, too much trouble. Ms. Harris, the social worker, glared across the Chicago orphanage's cluttered desk, her voice dripping with dismissal. Marcus Tate, a 30-year-old mechanic, stood unyielding, his flannel shirt patched, his scarred hands clenched, his gaze burned, his voice a low thunder. She's mine. Lila, a 5-year-old with Down syndrome, sat in the corner, her pigtails lopsided, her crayons scratching a wobbly star. Her soft hum filled the stale air, her eyes flicking to Marcus, curious but guarded. Ms. Harris snorted, her pen jabbing the adoption form. You're a single black man, barely scraping by. She'll ruin you. Marcus leaned forward, his presence a furnace. Then I'll raise her to shine. Lila's hum paused, her small hand reaching out. Ms. Harris rolled her eyes, slamming a stamp down with a crack. Sign your life away. Then, Marcus knelt beside Lila, his voice a vow. You and me. Kid. Home. Her grin was fierce, her fingers locking with his, the orphanage's heavy door slamming shut behind them. A new dawn breaking. 28 years later. Marcus, now 58, slumped in his Chicago living room, the TV's harsh glow etching lines on his weathered face, his graying hair framed eyes heavy with memory, his hands, rough from decades in the garage, clutching a chipped mug. Lila Evans, 33, stood on a national talk show stage, her blazer sharp, her smile a polished mask. The host, in a crimson dress, beamed. Lila Evans, CEO of Inclusive Designs, Forbes' game changer. How'd you climb so high? Lila's voice was smooth, rehearsed, vision, sacrifice, and my incredible team. The audience erupted, but Marcus's mug trembled, coffee spilling, his heart splintering. No mention of him, the man who'd stayed up nights teaching her math, fought school bullies, framed her first patent. The host leaned in, her voice probing. Who was your rock? Lila. Her smile wavered, her voice thin. My colleagues. Marcus's breath caught, his eyes raw. Disappointment a tidal wave crashing over love. The TV blared, but his world was a void. Her silence a betrayal sharper than any blade. The next day, social media detonated, posts ripping Lila apart. She erased her dad. Heartless, her clip hit 25 million views. A global inferno. The wound deepened when Tara, Lila's PR chief, went on a morning show. Her voice oily. Lila's a self-made star. No one carried her. The lie was a public execution, branding Marcus a ghost. Chicago's streets boiled, protesters stormed Inclusive Design's office. Signs screaming, justice for Marcus, at his garage. Marcus wrenched a bolt, his hands shaking. Customers' whispers, a hum. Jamal, his co-worker, slammed a fist on a toolbox. Tara's a snake. Man, she buried you. Marcus's voice was gravel, his eyes wet. Lila let her. His pain was a furnace. Tara's betrayal fuel. At a Chicago charity gala. Lila faced a packed auditorium, her speech on inclusion faltering as a mob surged forward. Sarah, a fiery activist, vaulted onto the stage, her voice a roar. You and Tara spat on Marcus Tate. Lila's mic clattered, her sob choking. The crowd's boos, a hurricane. Sarah thrust a tablet forward, a video playing Marcus pushing young Lila on a swing. His laugh warm, her giggle pure. The screen flashed to another Marcus at her college graduation. His clap the loudest. Lila's knees buckled, tears flooding. The live stream soaring to 30 million. I didn't mean it, she wailed, but Sarah grabbed her arm, her voice venom. He gave you everything. A protester, a burly man, rushed the stage, shoving Lila toward the edge. Traitor, he bellowed. Security tackled him, but he swung once, his fist grazing Lila's cheek, blood trickling. The crowd screamed, cameras flashing, the chaos a global spectacle. Lila crumpled, her voice a whisper. Dad. Marcus, watching on a garage TV, lurched forward, his wrench crashing, the video's joy clashing with his agony. Sarah's voice echoed, "He's your father." Reporters swarmed the garage, microphones stabbing. "Mr. Tate, will you disown her?" Marcus's voice was steady, but his eyes were tempests. "She's my blood, heart and soul." He turned away, his boots heavy, the cameras relentless. At her penthouse, Lila clutched her phone, replaying the swing video, her sobs raw, blood crusting on her cheek. "Dad," she gasped. "Guilt a vice." Tara texted, her tone cold. "Say he's nobody." "Lila, save your brand." Lila's screams shattered a glass, her voice a blade. "You lied." She blocked Tara, grabbing her keys, her heart a wildfire, the betrayal her own silence. Tara's venom drove her, redemption a desperate need. Marcus sat in his living room, the TV dark. A photo album opened Lila's first bike ride, her prom, his smile constant. Mrs. Carter, his neighbor, dropped off a paw, her voice soft. "She gutted you." "Marcus." He shook his head, his voice low. "She's lost her way." His phone buzzed friends, strangers, a city crying out. "She's wrong." He ignored it, his eyes on the album, love warring with pain. A car screeched outside. Lila's SUV skidding. She stumbled to the porch, her blazer ripped, blood smearing her face, her voice a primal scream. Dad Marcus rose, his eyes meeting hers. Disappointment a chasm, but love a spark. Lila collapsed, her knees hitting the wood, her sobs tearing the night. "I'm sorry," she cried, her hands clawing his boots. Tara lied. "I failed you. I'm nothing without you." Marcus's silence was a storm, his heart torn, the city's pulse fading, her plea a raw wound, redemption trembling at his doorsteps. The Chicago night was thick with tension, the city's pulse a drumbeat as Lila Evans knelt on Marcus Tate's porch, her sobs echoing off the weathered wood. Her blazer was torn, blood crusted on her cheek from the gala brawl, her hands clutching Marcus's boots. "I'm sorry, Dad," she wailed, her voice raw, broken. Marcus, 58, stood over her, his flannel shirt loose, his graying hair catching the streetlight, his eyes, heavy with disappointment, softened by love, bore into her. He knelt, his voice low, a gravelly whisper. "Get up, Lila. Words ain't enough." She clung to him, her tears soaking his sleeve, but he gently pulled away, stepping back into the house, the door clicking shut. Lila's cry pierced the night, her body shaking, guilt a vice. Inside, Marcus leaned against the door, his breath ragged, a photo of young Lila, her first smile in his arms clutched in his trembling hand. Chicago's outrage roared louder, the gala live stream now at 40 million views. Social media, a furnace of fury. Lila's a fraud. Marcus deserves justice. Tara's morning show clip, denying Marcus's role, fueled the fire. Her words, Lila built herself a public execution. Protesters swarmed Inclusive Design's office, their signs sharp. "Shame on Lila." A local news anchor blasted. "She's erased the man who raised her" at Inclusive Design's glass-walled headquarters. Lila sat in her office, her face pale, scrolling through hate posts, each a dagger. "Ungrateful you owe him." Her phone buzzed Tara, her voice cold. "Stay quiet, Lila, it'll blow over." Lila's voice cracked, her hand shaking. "You lied about Dad." Tara's laugh was sharp. "It's PR. Your brand's at stake." Lila hung up, her sob muffled. Tara's betrayal a fresh wound. Her friend Sarah, the activist from the gala, stormed in, her voice a whip. "You're drowning, Lila. Face him or you're done. Lila's eyes welled, her voice a whisper. I can't. Sarah slammed a fist on the desk, her voice fierce. He's your father. You spat on his heart. Lila flinched, her breath hitching, but fear held her, her guilt a chain. At Marcus's garage, the air was thick with grease and whispers. Customers lingered, their eyes on him as he worked under a car, his wrench steady despite the chaos. Jamal, his co-worker, tossed a rag, his voice low. City's losing it. Marcus, they're calling her a monster. Marcus's voice was gruff, his eyes distant. She ain't that. But his hands trembled. The weight of Lila's silence and Tara's lie crushing. Reporters camped outside, their cameras relentless. A microphone jabbed forward. Mr. Tate, will you speak out? Marcus stood, his flannel stained, his voice a low rumble. She knows what she did. He turned away, the crowd buzzing, his pain a private storm. Social media surged, a viral thread by Sarah detailing Marcus's sacrifices, night shifts for Lila's therapies, selling his car for her school hitting 5 million shares. A talk show host invited Marcus, but he refused, his voice firm over the phone. This ain't for cameras. At a downtown cafe, Lila met Sarah, her face bruised, her eyes hollow. The room hushed, patrons staring, their phones out. Sarah slid a tablet across, a new video playing Marcus at Lila's high school play, his clap thunderous, her bow radiant. Lila's sob was raw, her voice breaking. I didn't think. Sarah's voice was steel. You thought of you. Go to him, or you're no better than Tara. Lila's hands shook, her coffee spilling, but doubt gripped her, her shame a wall. She stood, her voice a whisper. What if he hates me? Sarah's eyes softened, but her tone was firm. He loves you. That's why it hurts. Lila fled, her car speeding through Chicago's dusk, the skyline a blur. At home, Marcus sat in his living room, the TV dark, a scrapbook open, Lila's first drawing, her college diploma, his notes in the margins. Mrs. Carter, his neighbor, knocked, her voice gentle. Folks are praying for you. Marcus, he nodded, his voice low. She's still my girl. But his eyes, glistening, betrayed the ache. His phone buzzed text, calls, a city crying out, make her pay. He silenced it, his heart torn. Love and pain a tangled knot. Outside inclusive designs. Protesters grew, their chants a drum honor Marcus. A brick sailed through a window, glass shatterings, security scrambling. Lila, watching from her office, froze, her breath short. Tara texted, her tone slick. Fire me, you lose everything. Lila's scream was feral, her phone hurled, cracking against the wall. Sarah called, her voice urgent. Lila, now or never. He's at the community center tonight fundraiser. Go. Lila's heart raced, her hands grabbing her coat, but fear clawed her, the weight of her mistake a noose. At the community center, Marcus stood at a podium, his voice steady, raising funds for kids like Lila. The crowd neighbors, friends cheered, but their eyes held pity. A projector played old photos. Marcus and Lila were at the zoo, her laugh bright, his smile proud. He paused, his voice catching. The room silent. Love don't need thanks, he said, his eyes wet. It just needs truth. The crowd clapped, but a reporter shouted, what about Lila's betrayal? Marcus's silence was a wound, his exit swift, the night swallowing him. Lila's car idled outside, her hands gripping the wheel, tears falling. Sarah's words echoed, face him, but her courage faltered, her shame a storm, the city's rage a mirror, her redemption a step she couldn't take yet. Chicago's skyline burned under a bruised dusk, the city a cauldron of rage as Lila Evans stood frozen outside the community center, her SUV idling, her hands gripping the wheel. Inside, Marcus Tate, her adoptive father, had just spoken at a fundraiser. His words, "Love don't need thanks. It needs truth," still echoing. His exit swift under the weight of a reporter's web about Lila's betrayal. The gala live stream, now at 50 million views, fueled a relentless storm. Social media posts screaming, "Lila's a disgrace, Tara's public lie." Lila built herself, and the gala brawl where Lila was bloodied had turned the city against her. Lila's breath hitched, Sarah's voice ringing in her head. Face him, but her courage crumbled, her car pulling away, guilt a chokehold. At Inclusive Design's headquarters, Lila faced a press conference the next morning, her blazer pressed, but her face haggard. The bruise on her cheek, a faint shadow. Reporters packed the room, their cameras a firing squad. A local anchor, her voice sharp, fired first. "Lila, why'd you erase Marcus Tate? He raised you." Lila's mic trembled, her voice thin. "I didn't mean to." The crowd jeered, phones flashing, a live stream spiking to 5 million. Sarah, the activist, pushed through, her voice a blade. "You meant it. You and Tara buried him." She raised a tablet, a video blasting Marcus teaching young Lila to read, his patience endless, her smile radiant. The room gasped, the footage cutting to Marcus at Lila's first job, his clap thunderous. Lila's knees buckled, her sob raw, the tablet's glow searing. "Stop," she cried, her voice cracking, but Sarah pressed, her voice relentless. "He's your father." The crowd roared, some chanting, Marcus others filming, the live stream hitting 10 million. Lila fled the stage, her heels slipping, security scrambling. Tara, in the wings, hissed, "Pull it together," but Lila shoved her, her voice a scream. "You did this." She ran, the building a blur, her heart a furnace. At Marcus's garage, the air was thick with oil and pity. Marcus, 58, worked under a hood, his flannel stained, his hands steady despite the chaos. Jamal, his coworker, tossed a wrench, his voice low. "She's getting slaughtered out there." Marcus's eyes, heavy with pain, stayed on the engine. "She's got to face it." Reporters lurked outside, their questions a barrage. "Will you forgive her, Mr. Tate?" Marcus's voice was gravel, his gaze distant. "Forgiveness ain't the issue. Truth is." He turned away, the cameras buzzing, his heart a wound. Social media raged. A new video, Lila's press conference, collapsed, going viral at 15 million views. Comments vicious. "She's fake, Marcus deserves better." A radio host blasted, "Lila's silence is a crime, Lila." In her car, sped through Chicago, the skyline a taunt. She pulled over, her phone shaking, replaying Sarah's video, Marcus's gentle voice, her childhood laugh. Her scream filled the car, her fist slamming the dashboard. "I'm sorry." She drove to Marcus's house, her breath short, guilt a noose. The porch light glowed, the night heavy. Marcus sat inside, a scrapbook open, Lila's first bike, her prom, his pride in every frame. Mrs. Carter's pie sat untouched, her words lingering. "She broke you, Marcus." He shook his head, his voice low. "She's my kid." His eyes glistened, love and hurt a tangled knot. The doorbell rang, sharp, insistent. Marcus stood, his boots heavy, opening the door. Lila stood there, her blazer soaked from rain, her cheek bruised, her eyes red. "Dad," she gasped, her voice a wail, collapsing to her knees, her hands clawing the porch. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I swear." Tears streamed, her body shaking, the city's hum fading. Marcus's face was stone, but his eyes betrayed a storm disappointment. Love, pain. He knelt, his voice low, a quiet blade. "Lila, you knew better." She sobbed, her hands grabbing his shirt. "Tara lied. I froze. I failed you. Marcus's silence was a weight, his hand hovering, then pulling back. Get up, he said, his voice steady but raw. You know what you gotta do. Lila's cry was primal, her body trembling, but she nodded, her resolve flickering. Marcus stepped back, his door half closed, his voice soft. Truth, Lila, that's all I ever asked. The door shut, the click of gunshot, leaving Lila in the rain. Her plea unanswered, her redemption a jagged path. At Inclusive Designs, Tara watched the live stream of Lila's porch breakdown, now at 20 million views. Her smirk cold. She texted an ally. She's done. Push the narrative. But cracks showed employees whispered, questioning Tara's role, her lies unraveling. Sarah, at a community rally, spoke to a crowd, her voice fierce. Marcus Tate's a hero, Lila. Make this right. The crowd cheered, signs waving. The city a pulse of justice. Lila, back in her penthouse, curled on the floor, her phone looping Marcus's video, her sobs relentless. She called Sarah, her voice a whisper. Help me fix this. Sarah's voice was firm. Start with him, then the world. Lila stood, her hand steadying, her heart a spark. Marcus, in his living room, sat with the scrapbook. Lila's childhood a lifeline. His phone buzzed a text from Jamal. She's trying, man. Marcus's eyes closed, his voice a murmur. Come home, kid. The city's rage was a storm, but Lila's breaking point was a dawn. Her path to truth just beginning. Chicago's dawn was a fragile glow. The city's anger still simmering as Lila Evans sat in her penthouse. Her eyes red from sleepless tears. The live stream of her porch plea at Marcus Tate's house had surged to 25 million views, splitting the public, some softened by her remorse, others scorning her as too late. Her bruised cheek throbbed, a reminder of the gala brawl. But Tara's betrayal and her own silence on national TV cut deeper. Lila clutched a photo Marcus pushing her on a swing, his smile radiant, her laugh pure. Sarah's words echoed, make it right. Lila's voice, a whisper, broke the silence. I will. Dad. She grabbed her phone, dialing Sarah, her tone resolute. I'm doing an exhibition for him. Sarah's voice was sharp but warm. About time. What's the plan? Lila's breath steadied. Photos, our story, his love. I need your help. Sarah paused, then agreed. Let's move fast. The city's watching. At Inclusive Design's headquarters, Lila met Sarah and a small team, her blazer crisp but her hands trembling. She spread sketches on a table of gallery, Marcus's portrait central, captioned, the only one who believed I was worthy of love. Sarah nodded, her voice firm. This could work, but people are skeptical. You've got to be raw. Lila's eyes welled, her voice low. I will be. Tara, still PR chief, burst in, her voice slick. This is suicide. Lila, you'll tank the brand. Lila's glare was ice. You're fired. Tara. Tara laughed. Venomous. You'll crash without me. Security escorted her out, her heels clicking, her threats trailing. Lila's team worked fast, securing a gallery downtown, photographers rushing to digitize Marcus's old photos, Lila's first bike, her prom, his steady hand in every frame. Lila wrote captions, her pen shaking, each word a confession. He taught me I was enough. Outside, Chicago buzzed, protesters still circling, their signs softer but wary. Prove it, Lila. Social media churned, posts doubting her, too little, too late. A local blog sneered, she's just saving face. At Marcus's garage, the air was heavy with grease and whispers. Marcus, 58, tightened a bolt, his flannel stained, his eyes distant. Jamal, his co-worker, tossed a rag, his voice low. Heard about Lila's exhibition. You going? Marcus's voice was gruff. She's got to walk her path, But his hands paused, hope flickering, pain a shadow. Reporters lingered, their questions sharp. Mr. Tate, is Lila's apology real? Marcus's gaze was steel, his voice steady. Truth shows in actions, not words. He turned away, the cameras buzzing, his heart guarded. Lila, at the gallery, oversaw setup, her voice firm but her pulse racing. Photos lined the walls, Marcus reading to her, clapping at her graduation, his love a constant. She faced a small press preview, her voice raw. I failed my dad. Marcus Tate, he raised me, loved me when no one else would. This is for him. A reporter, skeptical, jabbed. Why now damage control? Lila's breath caught, her voice breaking. Because I was wrong. He's everything. The room hushed, cameras flashing, the live stream hitting 5 million views. Some nodded, others scoffed. The city divided. Sarah, beside her, whispered, keep going. Lila's resolve hardened, her eyes on Marcus's portrait, his face a beacon. At a community center, Marcus volunteered, serving meals, his smile quiet. Mrs. Carter, his neighbor, showed him a live stream clip, Lila's press preview, her voice trembling. She's trying. Marcus, Mrs. Carter said, her voice soft. Marcus's eyes glistened, his voice low. I see her. He turned back to the line, his heart stirring, but trust a fragile thread. Social media shifted, some posts praising Lila. She's owning it, but others, fueled by Tara's allies, bit back. Fake tears, Tara, now rogue, met a tabloid editor in a dive bar, her voice low. Leaked this, she's skimming company funds to pay for the gallery. The editor grinned, typing fast, the smear hitting blogs overnight. Lila, at the gallery, saw the headline, her face paling. Sarah grabbed her arm, her voice fierce. Fight it, show the receipts. Lila nodded, her team releasing financials, every cent transparent, the smear crumbling. The live stream of her response hit 10 million, comments turning she's real. Lila faced the press again, her voice steady. This isn't about me. It's about Marcus Tate, the man who believed in a kid no one wanted. She choked up, her hand grazing his portrait, the crowd quiet, some tearing up. A young woman, a scholarship student, shouted, we believe you. The room clapped, the tide shifting, but doubts lingered. Marcus, at home, watched the live stream on his phone. His scrapbook opened Lila's first patent. His note proud. Jamal texted, she's fighting. Man, Marcus's voice was a murmur. Keep going, kid. He stood, his boots heavy, driving to the gallery's edge, unseen in the crowd, his eyes on Lila's work, his heart torn between pride and pain. At the gallery, Lila rehearsed her opening speech, her voice raw, recounting their journey, Marcus's night shifts, his sacrifices, her failures. I was blind to his love, she said, her tears falling. The press hushed. Sarah nodded, her voice low. You're doing it. But Tara's final move loomed, a hacked gallery screen, flashing Lila's a fraud. The crowd gasped, Lila's face draining, but Sarah yanked the plug, her voice fierce. Keep talking. Lila's voice rose, a cry. Marcus Tate is my father, my hero. I'll spend my life proving it. The crowd roared, their phones flashing. The live stream at 15 million. The hack drowned by truth. Marcus, in the shadows, watched, his eyes wet, a faint smile breaking, his silence a bridge to her redemption. The downtown gallery pulsed with anticipation, its white walls ablaze with the photos of Marcus Tate and Lila Evans, snapshots of a life forged in love. Lila stood at the entrance, her navy dress simple, her bruised cheek from the gala brawl faded but visible, her eyes raw from sleepless nights. The central portrait towered Marcus, his smile warm, captioned, "The only one who believed I was worthy of love." Hundreds filled the space, reporters, neighbors, former protesters drawn by Lila's viral plea, now at 30 million views. Sarah, her ally, adjusted a spotlight, her voice low. "You ready?" Lila's breath hitched, her hands trembling. "I have to be." Outside, a crowd gathered, phones flashing, a live stream climbing to 5 million. Inside, Lila faced the podium, her voice shaky but clear. "I failed my father, Marcus Tate. He adopted me, a girl no one wanted, and gave me everything. I'm here to honor him." The room hushed, cameras rolling, but skeptics lingered, their whispers sharp. "Is it real?" A reporter jabbed. "Why should we trust you after Tara's lies?" Lila's eyes welled, her voice breaking. "Because I'm telling the truth now." She gestured to the photos Marcus teaching her to write, clapping at her graduation, each a testament. The crowd softened, some nodding, others tearing up. Sarah's live stream hit 10 million, comments shifting. "She's genuine." But tension spiked when Tara, uninvited, slipped in, her smirk cold, whispering to a tabloid reporter. "She's faking it." Lila spotted her, her voice a blade. "Get out, Tara." Security moved, dragging Tara out, her protest shrill, the crowd jeering. The reporter, chastened, backed off, the room refocusing on Lila. She continued, her voice raw. "I was blind to his love, caught in my ego. Marcus taught me I was enough. I'm sorry, Dad." Her sob echoed, the crowd silent, her apology a wound laid bare. At Marcus's garage, the air was heavy with grease, the TV blaring Lila's speech. Marcus, 58, paused his wrench, his flannel loose, his eyes locked on the screen. Jamal, his co-worker, clapped his shoulder, his voice soft. "She's fighting." "Man," Marcus's voice was gruff, his eyes glistening. "I see her." He grabbed his jacket, his boots heavy, heading to the gallery, his heart a tangle of pride and pain. Back at the gallery, the crowd parted, gasps rippling as Marcus entered, his presence a quiet storm. Lila froze, her mic trembling, her voice a whisper. "Dad." The room stilled, cameras zooming, the live stream spiking to 15 million. Marcus stood at the back, his eyes meeting hers, disappointment fading, love rising. Lila ran to him, her heels clacking, dropping to her knees, her voice a wail. "I'm so sorry I failed you." Tears streamed, her hands grabbing his, the crowd holding its breath. Marcus knelt, his voice low, steady. "Get up, Lila. You're my girl." He lifted her, his arms strong, her sob muffled against his chest. The crowd erupted, clapping, some crying, Sarah wiping her eyes. Clara, streaming, whispered, "This is healing." Marcus's voice was soft, but firm. "You hurt me, kid, but you're here now." Lila's voice broke. "I'll make it right. Dad, I swear." Marcus's eyes softened, his hand grazing her cheek. "Then do something bigger. For kids like you." Lila nodded, her resolve steel, the challenge a spark. The crowd cheered, their phones flashing, the live stream at 20 million, comments flooding. "Their family." A reporter thrust a microphone. "Mr. Tate, do you forgive her?" Marcus's voice was clear, his arm around Lila. "Forgiveness is love that don't quit. She's got work to do." The room roared, the gallery a furnace of hope. Sarah approached, her voice warm. "You did it." Lila's eyes stayed on Marcus, her voice a vow. "We're not done." Outside, Tara watched from a car, her face twisted, her tabloid ally gone, her schemes dust. She sped off, her shadow fading, the city's pulse turning to Lila's redemption. At the gallery, Lila faced the crowd, her voice stronger. "This is for Marcus, and every kid who needs someone to believe. I'm starting something bigger than me. The crowd clapped. A young man, a former foster kid, shouting, "We're with you." Marcus stood beside her, his silence a pillar, his eyes proud but steady. Naomi, Lila's new PR lead, whispered, "You've got global support. Push it." Lila nodded, her mind racing. Marcus's challenge, do something bigger, a fire. The exhibition ran late, thousands streaming through, photos sparking tears and pledges. A teacher brought students, one with Down syndrome, her eyes bright. "You're like me," she told Lila, her voice soft. Lila knelt, her voice warm. "And you're enough." Marcus watched, his smile faint, his heart full. At home, Marcus sat with Lila, a scrapbook open her first patent. His note, "My star." He spoke, his voice low. "You're on the right road. Kid, keep walking." Lila's hand gripped his, her voice fierce. "I will, Dad. For you." The gallery's glow lingered. The live stream at 30 million. The world watching. Lila's redemption wasn't just for Marcus, it was a promise. A seed for something greater. Her path now clear. The conference room at Inclusive Designs buzzed with purpose, its glass walls reflecting the glow of a projector as Lila Evans stood at a podium. Her navy suit crisp, her eyes fierce with resolve. A month after the photo exhibition, she was launching the Marcus Tate Foundation, a $5 million initiative to support abandoned children, especially those with disabilities. Marcus Tate, her adoptive father, sat in the front row, his flannel shirt neat, his graying hair catching the light, his face quiet but proud. Sarah, Lila's ally, managed a live stream, now at 10 million views, while Naomi, the new PR lead, monitored media. The room was packed: donors, activists, kids from foster homes, their anticipation electric. Lila's voice rang clear. "The Marcus Tate Foundation is for every child who feels forgotten, like I once was. My dad believed in me. Now we believe in them." The crowd clapped, a young girl with a prosthetic leg grinning, her sign reading "Thank you." Marcus, but a shadow loomed. Carl Reed, Marcus's former boss and a bitter rival from his garage days, watched from the back, his scowl deep. Carl, fired years ago for cheating Marcus out of wages, had resurfaced, his grudge festering. Lila continued, her voice steady. "We're funding homes, therapies, education starting with $1 million in grants." Donors cheered, but Carl stood, his voice a snarl. "This is a scam. She's laundering money." The room gasped, cameras swiveling, the live stream spiking to 15 million. Sarah's eyes narrowed, her voice sharp. "Proof or shut up." Carl thrust a tablet forward, forged documents flashing alleged bank transfers. Lila's signature, "She's stealing," just like her dad. Marcus's jaw tightened, his hands clenching, but his voice was calm. "You're lying, Carl." Lila's face paled, her voice trembling. "That's fake." Naomi grabbed the tablet, her fingers flying, sinking it to her laptop. "These are doctored timestamps, don't match." The crowd murmured, skeptics stirring, a reporter shouting, "Is this another PR stunt?" Lila's breath hitched, but Marcus stood, his presence a rock. "My girl don't steal. Check the truth." His voice was a quiet thunder, the room hushing. Sarah, live streaming, zoomed in, her voice fierce. "Let's end this lie." Naomi projected, real financials transparent, audited, clean, every cent's accounted for, she said, her voice cutting. The crowd roared, donors nodding, the girl with the prosthetic leg clapping. Carl's smirk faded, his voice cracking. "You can't prove," but security moved, their hands firm, escorting him out, his protest drowned by boos. Lila faced the crowd, her voice raw. "This foundation is my dad's legacy. No one stops it." The room erupted, the live stream hitting 20 million, comments flooding Lila's reel. But Carl wasn't done. Outside, he met a shady blogger, his voice low. Spread this, her grants or bribes. The blogger grinned, typing fast, the smear hitting dark web forums. At the garage, Marcus worked, his wrench steady, Jamal at his side. A customer showed him the blog post, his voice low. Carl's at it again. Marcus? Marcus's eyes darkened, his voice gruff. He's noise. Lila's louder. He texted her, his words simple. Keep fighting. Kid. Lila. At the conference room. Read it? Her resolve steel? She called a press conference. Her voice urgent. Carl Reed's lying to hurt my dad. Here's the truth. She live-streamed, Sarah's camera rolling, showing grant contracts legit, signed by foster agencies. Every dollar's for kids, Lila said, her voice a vow. A foster teen, Jamal's nephew, stepped up, his voice clear. She's funding my school. She's real. The crowd cheered, the live stream at 25 million. The smear crumbling. Carl's blog post tanked, his allies silent, his grudge a fading echo. Lila faced Marcus, her voice soft. I'm doing it, Dad, for you. He nodded, his eyes warm. For them, kid. He gestured to the foster kids, their faces bright. Sarah whispered to Naomi, she's unstoppable. Naomi's tablet buzzed, donors pledging $2 million more. The foundation soaring. But a final jab came. Carl, desperate, leaked a forged audio Lila allegedly mocking Marcus to a tabloid. Sarah caught it, her voice fierce. It's AI generated. She traced the source, exposing Carl's IP. The tabloid retracting, the live stream hitting 30 million. Lila faced the press, her voice of fire. My dad's the hero. This foundation's his heart. She choked up, her hand grazing Marcus's portrait, now a gallery icon. The crowd rising, their applause a wave. Marcus stood, his voice low, his arm around her. You're making it right, Lila. His eyes glistened, his support ironclad, their bond a fortress. Donors swarmed, pledging millions. A foster agency head vowing partnerships. A girl, inspired by Lila, hugged her, her voice soft. You're like me. Lila's voice was warm, and you're enough. Marcus watched, his smile faint, his heart full. At home, Marcus and Lila sat, a scrapbook open her first award. His note, my pride. He spoke, his voice steady. You're bigger than me now, kid. Lila's hand gripped his, her voice fierce. Never. Dad? The foundation's launch was a spark, its grants a lifeline, the world watching. Carl, in a cheap motel, saw the live stream, his face hollow, his fight over. Lila's vow wasn't just for Marcus, it was for every forgotten child, her redemption aflame. The auditorium of the Global Inclusion Summit in London thrummed with energy, its stage lit by soft spotlights as Lila Evans stood at a podium, her navy blazer sharp, her voice steady but laced with emotion. 6 months after launching the Marcus Tate Foundation, now a $20 million beacon for abandoned children, she faced 1,000 delegates, activists, policymakers, youth from foster care. Marcus Tate, her adoptive father, sat in the front row, his flannel swapped for a suit, his graying hair neat, his eyes warm with quiet pride. Sarah, Lila's ally, live streamed the speech, the feed at 15 million views, while Naomi, the PR lead, monitored media buzz. Lila's voice rang out. My dad, Marcus Tate, saw me a girl with Down syndrome, left behind and chose me. This foundation, his name, has lifted 3,000 kids. It's his heart, our future. The crowd rose, applauding, a foster teen in a wheelchair holding a sign, Marcus saved me. But a shadow crept in. Carl Reed, Marcus's old rival, now a disgraced freelancer, watched from a cheap hotel room. his laptop glowing with a last-ditch plot. After his forged documents and audio failed, he'd hired a hacker, Lila Voss, to crash the foundation's donation system. Lila gripping her keyboard, her voice low. "I'll freeze their funds tonight." Carl's smirk was cold. "Make it hurt." At the summit, Lila shared a photo Marcus teaching her to paint, her smile bright, his hands steady, her voice raw. "I failed him once. Forgot him on TV. I'll never forget again." Delegates wiped tears, a UN official nodding, the live stream hitting 20 million. But Naomi's tablet buzzed. Leo, the foundation's CFO, texting bank accounts locked. Hacker attack. Lila's face paled, her voice faltering. But Marcus stood, his presence a rock. "Keep talking, kid," he said, his voice low, steady. Lila nodded, her resolve steel, addressing the crowd. "Someone's trying to stop us. We won't let them." The delegates cheered, donors pledging millions on the spot. Sarah's camera capturing every word. Naomi, her fingers flying, called Leo, her voice sharp. "Trace it." Leo's voice crackled. "Got an IP shady server tied to Carl Reed." Sarah, live streaming, zoomed in, her voice fierce. Carl's back. Lila faced the crowd, her voice a blade. "Carl Reed's attacking our kids. Here's the truth." Naomi projected bank logs, attempted hacks, blocked by Leo's firewalls. "Our funds are safe," Lila said, her voice rising. "Every cent's for them." She pointed to foster kids in the audience, their faces bright, one shouting, "We trust you," the crowd roared. The live stream at 25 million, comments flooding Lila's unstoppable. Carl, watching, slammed his laptop, his voice a snarl. "Voss, finish it." Voss typed frantically, but Leo's team shut her down, her screen blacking out. "You're done," Voss muttered, cutting contact. Carl's plan collapsing. Lila continued, her voice fierce. "The Marcus Tate Foundation is global, 10 countries, 5,000 kids. My dad taught me to fight. We're fighting for them." A delegate, a foster agency head, pledged $5 million. Others following. The room a furnace of hope. Marcus's eyes glistened, his nod subtle, his pride a quiet fire. Sarah whispered to Naomi, "She's changing the world." Naomi's tablet buzzed, Interpol tracking Carl, his hacker ally exposed, his schemes dust. But Carl tried one last jab, leaking a doctored video to a tabloid, Lila allegedly bribing donors. Naomi caught it, her voice cold. "Metadata's fake. It's Carl." She released proof, the tabloid retracting, the live stream hitting 30 million, the smear buried. Lila faced the crowd, her voice raw. "My dad's love built this. I was lost, but he found me. Now we find every kid." She choked up, her hand grazing a photo of Marcus. The delegates rising, their applause thunderous. A teen, inspired by Lila, approached, her voice soft. "I'm like you. Thank you." Lila hugged her, her voice warm. "You're enough." Marcus watched, his smile faint, his heart full, at a London hotel. Lila and Marcus sat, a scrapbook open, Lila's first speech. His note, "My hero." He spoke, his voice steady. "You're bigger than us now, kid." Lila's hand gripped his, her voice fierce. "You're the root." "Dad," Sarah called, her voice urgent. "UN wants you to speak." Lila, global stage. Lila nodded, her eyes on Marcus. "We'll do it together." Back in the US, the foundation grew. Its grants funding schools, therapies, homes. Leo hired foster youth, his voice clear. This is their future. Naomi's PR campaign made Lila a global icon. Her story in textbooks. Carl, in a rundown apartment, saw the live stream, his face hollow, his fight over. Interpol closed in, his allies gone, his grudge a whisper. Lila's speech ended, delegates swarming, pledging partnerships. A foster agency, head vowed, we're scaling this worldwide. Marcus stood beside Lila, his voice low. You did it, kid. Lila's eyes welled, her voice a vow. For you, Dad. The summit's glow lingered. The live stream at 35 million, the world watching. Lila's legacy wasn't just the foundation, it was Marcus's love, a light for every forgotten child. Her path now a global road. The grand ballroom of the International Convention Center glowed with soft light, its high ceilings adorned with banners proclaiming the Marcus Tate Foundation's first anniversary. Lila Evans stood at a podium, her emerald gown shimmering, her eyes bright with purpose. A year after her redemption, the foundation had transformed lives, 10,000 children supported across 20 countries, with 50 million in grants for homes, schools, and therapies. Marcus Tate, her adoptive father, sat at the head table, his suit crisp, his graying hair neat, his smile quiet but radiant. Sarah, Lila's ally, live-streamed the gala, the feed at 20 million views, while Naomi, the PR lead, coordinated global media. The room brimmed with dignitaries, foster youth, and donors, their applause a heartbeat. Lila's voice rang clear. The Marcus Tate Foundation is my dad's dream, every child seen, loved, lifted. Tonight, we honor him. The crowd rose, cheering, a foster teen with Down syndrome holding a sign, Marcus is my hero. Marcus's eyes glistened, his nod subtle, his pride a quiet flame. But a faint shadow lingered. Carl Reed, Marcus's old rival, now a fugitive evading Interpol, watched the live stream from a seedy hideout, his face twisted. His failed hacks and smears had left him powerless, but he typed a final anonymous post, Lila's a con, Marcus a fool. It sank, ignored. The world's focus on the gala, Carl's venom a dying echo. Lila faced the crowd, her voice raw. I failed my dad once, forgot him when it mattered. He forgave me, challenged me to do better. This foundation is his love, my promise. She choked up, gesturing to a screen, Marcus teaching her to read, clapping at her first patent, his sacrifices vivid. Delegates wiped tears, a UN envoy nodding, the live stream hitting 25 million. Lila stepped down, her hand grazing Marcus's, her voice a whisper. Your turn, Dad. Marcus rose, his boots heavy, his presence a mountain. The room hushed, camera zooming. Sarah's feet at 30 million. His voice, low and steady, filled the space. I ain't special. I saw a kid, Lila, my girl, and loved her. That's all it takes. Love don't need thanks, just action. These kids, they're our future. Believe in them. The crowd erupted, standing, a foster girl in a wheelchair shouting, we love you, Marcus. His eyes glistened, his smile faint, his words a spark. Lila returned, her voice fierce. He's the light that led me home. Without him, I'm nothing. She hugged him, her tears falling, the crowd roaring, the live stream at 35 million, comments flooding family forever. A donor, a tech mogul, pledged $10 million. Others following. The foundation soaring. Naomi whispered to Sarah, this is history. Sarah's camera panned to foster youth, their faces bright. One saying, I'm studying medicine because of them. But a final ripple came. Carl's post, though buried, reached a rogue tabloid, which printed a smear foundation's affront. Naomi caught it, her voice cold. It's recycled lies, Carl's IP again. She released audited reports, the tabloid folding, the live stream hitting 40 million, the truth unshakable. Lila faced the crowd, her voice a vow. No child will be forgotten. Not on my watch, not on his. She pointed to Marcus, the room rising, their applause a wave. A foster agency had approached, her voice warm. We're partnering global, your model's the standard. Lila nodded, her eyes on Marcus. His challenge, do something bigger now, a reality. Marcus spoke again, his voice softer. Lila's my pride, but these kids, they're the legacy. Keep it going. The crowd cheered, a young boy, adopted through the foundation, hugging him, his voice soft. You're my dad, too. Marcus's hand ruffled his hair, his heart full. The gala continued, music swelling, foster youth dancing, their joy a pulse. Sarah, now a foundation ambassador, shared a clip, Marcus and Lila laughing, their bond alight. Naomi's PR campaign had made them global symbols, their story in UN reports. Lila faced a UN envoy, his voice urgent. Speak at our next summit. She nodded, her voice firm. With my dad. Marcus's smile widened, his nod solid. At a quiet moment, Lila and Marcus stood aside. A scrapbook opened Lila's first award. His note. My star. He spoke, his voice low. You're carrying the world. Kid. Lila's hand gripped out his, her voice fierce. Because you carried me. The foundation's impact grew schools in Asia, clinics in Africa, staff hired from foster care. Leo, the COO, mentored youth, his voice proud. We're family now. A foster teens startup, funded by Lila, won a tech prize, her name beside Marcus's. Carl, cornered by Interpol, saw his arrest on the live stream, his face blank, his fight over. The gala ended, the crowd dispersing, their pledges a lifeline. Lila faced the press, her voice clear. Marcus Tate's love is our mission. We'll never stop. A reporter smiled, her camera rolling. You're a legend. Lila, she shook her head, pointing to Marcus. He's the legend. The live stream hit 50 million, a global movement born. Marcus and Lila left, his arm around her, their bond unbreakable. Their legacy wasn't just the foundation, it was a world where no child felt forgotten, their light eternal. Lila turned silence into a legacy, honoring her father's love to save forgotten children. Thanks for listening. Like, share, and subscribe for our next epic tale. Don't miss out, hit the bell for the latest videos.